I would say 60-70% of my students are over 50. They all came in feeling like, oh no, I'm the only one. You're not. Whether you like basket weaving or whether you like writing or playing the flute or playing the drums, there are a ton of humans your age learning those skills and not starting until right now. The best time to start was 10 years ago. The next best time is right now. What? You're learning the drums over 50? Are you nuts? Are you crazy? You can't do that, right? Oh, you're like, halfway in the grave, right? That's not how I view this. If you're learning the drums over 50, or heck, if you're learning the drums over 40 or over 45 or over 60 or 70 or 80, I have students doing all of those things. You're just in time. You have time to learn them. There's no race to the end, and it's going to be great. Not only will learning the drums help you cognitively, it's also going to help you relationally. It's going to help you with your community. It's going to help you with your overall joy of life. I'm telling you, there's so many things that learning the drums adds. So this is specific. I know I don't usually do these, but this is specific because I have a ton of students that are over 50. And I say that as just a number. Look, 50 is the new 20. I'm serious. Like, look up the number of people that didn't do anything until their 50s. Okay? It's astounding. It's astounding. By the time we get to that point, I feel, in my 40s, I feel like I'm just figuring out how life works. I feel like I'm actually just figuring some stuff out. In my 20s, I thought I had it figured out. In my 30s, there was a real good chance that I understood I didn't have it figured out. And then in my 40s, I started going, oh, some of this is starting to make some sense. By your 50s, you're like, yeah, I know how to do that. And you're looking at people like, come here, please don't do that, right? That's the wrong way, and you're going to get hurt. You're going to hurt that person, whatever that looks like. This is going to end badly. Why? Because it ended badly for me. Let me show you. Learning the drums whenever we are what you would say an older beginner. And I've had students that didn't start till after they were 60. There's a great interview on here with several of my students. They didn't start till they were 70, and it has opened up so much in their life. There's great benefits to learning the drums cognitively. Let's just start there with your brain. You hear all the saying of older people that need to stay active, and they go and they move around at the gym, or they take the aquatics classes, and there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. I think they're great. It's the purpose. Their balance goes down. We start declining, right? And then up here, they do Sudokus at night. Well, I would rather, instead of do a Sudoku, there's nothing wrong with that. My wife loves them. She loves crossword puzzles. I've never gotten them, but hey, I would rather sit there and play the piano and learn a new instrument. There are things that happen in the brain and areas that light up in the brain whenever we interact with a sheet of music, whenever we interact with music cognitively. There's so many things that we are having to interpret on the drums, how it sounds, where we're hitting, our balance, physical stuff, like interpreting the sheet music. Your brain is just lit up whenever you are learning an instrument. Why is this good? I'm telling you, it's going to keep you young. If you don't use it, you're going to lose it, okay? So one of the great things that drumming or learning any instrument does is it really helps keep your mind sharp. And you can go into an Alzheimer's unit. I know this because my grandparents were, both my grandmothers were in them. Those people had forgotten, many of them had forgotten how to speak. But if you set them down at the instrument that they played, violin, piano, they could play it. They could play it beautifully. It was insane how well they could play it and read it. And they could read the sheet music. They couldn't read a piece of paper, but the sheet music made it. Why? Because there's other parts of the brain that are lighting up. I'm telling you, it's really great. So that's one area that it's great. The drums are also an impact instrument, a percussive instrument. What's that mean? We hit, right? And that's great because as we get older, our bones lose their density. If you don't use it, you're going to lose it. They lose their density. So what do we need to do? Weight-bearing exercises are really great for you. I think it's Wolff's Law. I don't want to say that incorrectly, but bones will increase in density according to the weight that's put against them. That's Stevens' paraphrase. I was a personal trainer for 5 or 6 years while I was coming off the road and redoing some things so that I could start an online drum school for the last 14 years. This podcast is brought to you by the Drum Better Daily program. That's actually my online drum school school that I've run now for 12 plus years. Not only have I been playing the drums professionally since the age of 15, I've been teaching since the age of 18. Matter of fact, I talked to one of my, my first student a few days ago. I actually called him to see if he could sub a gig out for me. Daniel, love you, man. And he's still playing. He's still doing it on a pro level. And I have been committed to teaching for 22 plus years now. I would love to have you go check it out at stevensdrumshed.com. You can find a link to that in the show notes or video description, whichever platform you're watching it on. But it truly is a community of like-minded drummers where we are striving to just be the best that we can be at the drums. In addition to over 70 pre-recorded drum courses, there's also a tech talk area where we talk about everything technology related as it pertains to the drums, e-kits, recording, doing videos, all of that stuff. There are forums where you can hang out with the other students as well. We do 2 live video student calls every week that you can join if you'd like to. We do guest artist calls monthly, and I'll even make you a personalized lesson plan if that's what you need. Yes, we talk about the nuts and bolts of drumming. Yes, I give you exercises, but we also talk a lot about how to practice more efficiently, how to practice better, and how to get more out of your practice time. I know you're just like me. You're busy, you're being pulled by work, by family, by friends, by other responsibilities. Whenever you practice, you really want to see gains and have it be productive. That is what we focus on in the Drum Better Daily program. I'll have to say personally, it's been really cool because some of these students I've worked with for over 12 years, we started running drum camps here in 2022, and I got to meet some of them in person for the first time. Those drum camps have been selling out, blowing my mind with how much fun they are and how great a time it is to bring the community together in person. I'd love to have you be a part of it. I'm not a doctor, by the way. If you need one, you should go see one. I don't pretend to play one on the internet. So any of my medical advice, which I try not to give any because I don't have a ton of it, you should definitely go see a person that's qualified for that. But I think it's well solved. So whenever you're playing the drums, you're staying physical. There's also a doctor that does heart rate monitors for drummers that are playing very large gigs, venues, coliseums, arenas, that kind of thing. Coliseums, do we have a ton of those? Amphitheaters, arenas, that kind of thing. What are we, Romans? Are we fighting? And she puts the heart rate monitor on them to gauge what their heart rate spikes are. I did this with Pete Parada when he was with The Offspring, and we gauged that his heart rate and his caloric burn rate were the same as an Olympic soccer player. And then her findings years later, we did some crude workings. Her findings were spot on with that. You have the same heart rate spikes, peaks and valleys as a soccer player with how they sprint. Now, obviously, if you're playing at your house, that's different, but you will still get your heart rate up. You are still moving. It is still exercise. It's a wonderful thing to do as you're getting older. All right. Now, I was thinking about this a few months ago, and, it took 8 to 10 years to get what I felt like was really competent at the drums. And then I went into a career. I wanted to do that. I love drums, but I have some space for other things in my life. So there's other skills I want to learn. And it's like, okay, well, I got that one kind of humming. Is there another one? Like I have, I feel like I'm going to live for a while, so I want to do something. I don't want to just sit there. So taking on a new skill when you're 50, if it takes you 8 to 10 years to master it, that's fine. You got time. By a couple of years, within year 1, you can be very competent at the drums. I'll give you that. Go look at an interview with a student of mine named Pooley on this channel. 7 tips for learning the drums over 50. Incredible story. Didn't start till he was over 60, accomplished in multiple areas, and within 3 or 4 years, out gigging, getting paid to do it, having a blast. It created a whole new area of his life. It's going to bring new people into your life. It's going to bring new experiences into your life. You're going to have a sense of accomplishment. So I'm doing a short episode, but I want to do it simply as an encouragement to you because I would say 60-70% of my students are over 50. We're about to have a live call with them. I've actually got the camera set up over there, and we'll probably have 30-40 that are in that age range on that call. We do that every week with them. And they all came in feeling like, oh no, I'm the only one. You're not. Whether you like basket weaving or whether you like writing or playing the flute or playing the drums, there are a ton of humans your age learning those skills and not starting until right now. The best time to start was 10 years ago. The next best time is right now, right? So let's go ahead and stop going, oh, I should have started years ago. Okay, that's gone. Stop doing that and stop giving yourself FOMO. Do I have time to learn and be competent in this instrument? I guarantee you I've taken so many people from not playing the instrument to playing with other musicians out in public and sounding good in a year or less. It's ridiculous. My son was one of them, and he did not practice like crazy, right? He was 14 or 15 at the time. He practiced like a 14-year-old, sporadically or not at all. But I've done the same thing with adults. Okay, this is not a deal. We can get up and playing the drums. I'm writing a program right now that's going to be free. I'm going to put it out. It's going to teach. It's a 10-day program. You're going to learn so many songs in that time. Okay, so I'm just here to encourage you. Please jump in. We all would love to have you be a part of the family. And if you are kind of starting, you're not seeing the progress you want, look, celebrate those daily wins. Get the vision in your mind of what it looks like and what that would feel like playing. Then go towards that. And if you did it for 3 or 4 weeks or 3 months or 4 months and you're like, this isn't working, yes, it does. It works for everyone. You just have to keep doing it. So don't say it doesn't work. It will work. If what you're doing is not getting the results you want, change what you're doing. But I promise you, playing the drums, oh yeah, any human can do that. I can teach any human to do that, and I have. Okay, I had a student in here the other day, and I taught them 2 songs in 30 minutes. 2 songs, and it was the first drum lesson. Okay, you can do this. It's not a problem. And if you're over 50, you've started just in time. And I have tons of examples. I'm about to meet with about 25 or 30 of them that are doing it, and they're so happy. If you ever got questions, email me, help@stevensdrumshed.com. If you'd ever like to join my online drum school, links below. Been happening for 14 years, tons of people just like you. And we have in-person drum camps. I think there's 2 or 3 spots left for the 2025 season. So if you want one of them, snag them up. All those links are in the description. But whatever you do, I'll see you here in the next episode.